Now that the speakers are assembled and I'm happy with the way they look, I can get some finish put on here, and that finish starts with 3 coats of tung oil. I'm gonna let that dry for a few days, and then I'm gonna finish it with a low gloss water-based polyurethane. While I'm waiting for the oil to dry, I can get the crossovers put together, and I need to make these the right size to fit in that pocket that I cut into the base. With everything else done, I can get the crossover installed and the drivers put in. The first step is to try to pull the wires through the stand and up into the speaker using that channel that I drilled and cut before. This can be a little bit tricky and frustrating, but the big thing is to make sure that the string that you're using to pull is strong enough and also securely fastened to the wire before you try to do this. That went smoother than I thought it would, but it looks like I've gotten ahead of myself a little bit. I really should have had the banana jacks put in before I did this. So I'm just going to temporarily pull it back a little bit so I can drill those out and put those in. Now before I put the crossover board in, I'm going to flip it over and stick on these little standoffs that I made from plastic. I just got double-sided tape on here and it'll hold it until I can get in position and drill the hole. And I won't have to deal with these things moving around. Finally, on the bottom here anyway, I can get the cover plate put in, and I may get a comment or two about this being steel and it being very close to those coils. Will it have any effect? And to check that, I did a measurement without it and a measurement with it, and there's no difference at all, so the plate is not having any effect. Now I can get the drivers put in, but you can see here that I've added a capacitor to the woofer. I made some changes after I built the crossovers and did some measurements of the completed speaker, the first one, and added that capacitor to improve the response. Then I can get the wires connected and get the driver screwed in. With that, these speakers are finished, and I've already moved them down to my listening room. Here's one set up here on the side wall. And if you're wondering exactly what these speakers are for, I explained that in the very first video in this series. There's a link in the description. But before I moved them out of my shop, I did some measurements, and this first one is on axis at 1 meter. And I'm quite happy with this. This is a 5 decibel deviation over the full range. This next plot is the horizontal off-axis performance, and the next one shows the vertical off-axis response measured 10 degrees and 20 degrees above the speaker. And finally, this last one is vertical again, but 10 and 20 degrees below the speaker this time.